Hello, Enochianites. You have all completed the 19-day working now, I figure. Though there might be a couple of you that are completing it next week due to schedule things. I'm trying to remember now how many people are doing which, but most of you have completed it now. I really hope you did do the introduce yourself to every Enochian spirit on your very last day, as that was the most important part of the working. If you have not, for whichever reason, I would say put some time aside and do an extra day just to do that, just to introduce yourselves to them all at once, which is calling a lot of spirits, but still, it is a big part of the working and I highly recommend it. Now that you have very many new roommates, it's time for the 30 ethers. The 30 ethers are an amazing experience. As I said previously, we are integrating ourselves into each ether as we go through and transforming ourselves alchemically in a process in a certain orderly fashion from the most dense to the most subtle. And to get from the most dense to the most subtle, we must transform and change ourselves. We must become less dense and carry less stuff, unneeded stuff within us. Basically, all our past negative experiences, all our stored emotions, all the what happens when we have bad experiences and we internalize stuff in a negative way and we carry stuff within us, it crystallizes within us. The energy sort of crystallizes and causes problems and causes blockages and trouble for energy to flow through. However, to do high-level spiritual work, you need the energy to flow well and the things to flow through you, and you need to be able to access every realm. So as we go through these ethers, it helps us to break through this, to break through the old emotions, the old experiences. As you probably guessed from me just saying that, things may come up as we go through them. If things don't come up, don't worry about it. If they come up and it's harsh, you have a few options. You can always ask me for advice if you're actually in the course and doing the work and you run into a problem on one of the ethers on the way. Just get a hold of me and ask me and tell me what's going on, and I can talk to you about it. I've had a lot of experience on my own going through ethers and also helping other people go through ethers or similar experiences. Another option is you could always slow down and take perhaps a second week on one if you feel you need that. Now there's a positive and negative to that. It goes a little slower and it slows down. You get another week to work through it. But if it was sort of a hellish ether, that means 2 weeks of hell. So good and bad. You can decide which. You can always ask your main spirits or the Enochian entities what they recommend, and go with what you feel in your heart, what your impression is, and decide what your option may be. Now, if it gets really, really bad, well, have a talk with me, but also, if you get some counseling and a little help along the way, that's good too, because McGregor Mathers had one thing that was awesome, one thing that was correct, and that was to see a therapist if you're going into magic. Psychiatrist, therapist, whichever. I mean, psychologist. Psychiatrists aren't really my bag. They just prescribe medications, but psychologists help us to work through stuff. And there's various schools of thought on them. There's various methods. Go anywhere from the psychoanalyze it through, which many magicians do like, to let's just get down to work and figure out the main things to work through and work through it. So you could take these routes, or you can work through stuff yourself, or just let it come naturally. I'm just saying, if it gets a bit too intense, here's some avenues you can take. It's not like many magicians before us haven't run into these things and sorted them out. Do keep in mind, though, if you start to lose focus on your mundane life and things start to go really long in your mundane life, really wrong, I mean, make sure to slow down, ground. Talk to me about it. We'll figure some stuff out. But you need to assess yourself each time as you're going through the ethers, because sometimes it can be pretty intense for people. These ethers are very strong. Speaking of grounding, make sure to do grounding exercises. I'll put up a grounding video. I have one live somewhere. I'll make sure to add, I think actually I added it last week, didn't I? Or a few days ago. Watch the grounding video. Keep in mind, do the grounding. Do things like go out hiking, or a bunch of heavy lifting, or just something that grounds you on the earth and the physical. It's really important when you're doing Enochian, because of all systems of magic, Enochian is one of the most that does get you connected with the ethereal planes. So you always want to have balance. Balance is the key to magic. You cannot have all one without the other of anything with magic. Let's see what else about the Enochian ethers. I'll do another video for part 2 on that.